Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's Reddit stories are from Entitled Parents. Story 1 is by Nightchild25. Entitled Mother wants me to give her my bracelet because her daughter wants it. I was out shopping at a little boutique at the Summit in Birmingham, minding my own business. As I made my way to the cashier, this woman and her little girl, about 6, approached me. This was our conversation. Woman: "Excuse me, my daughter really loves your bracelet." Me: "Thank you." Awkward silence where the woman just stares at me as I'm unloading my items at the checkout counter. Woman: "I said my daughter really loves your bracelet." Me: "I'm sorry? I thought I said thank you. Did I not?" Woman: "You did, but my daughter really loves your bracelet." Me: "Okay, thank you for the compliment." Little girl whining: "Mommy, I want it." Woman: "Well?" I continue to go about my business thinking that she's talking to her daughter. Woman: "Aren't you going to do anything?" Me: "I'm sorry, what?" Woman: "Well, if you didn't hear her, my daughter wants your bracelet. I haven't seen anything like that before." Me: "Oh, I didn't realize you wanted to know about it. It's from a company called XYZ. It's called Name of Bracelet. You can just wear it outside or charge it with an ultraviolet light and it glows. You can order it online from their website. This was a birthday gift from my mom." Woman: "I didn't want a sales ad. My daughter wants your bracelet. You can order another one. You need to let my daughter have it." Me: "Excuse me? You cannot be serious." The little girl stomps her foot. "Mommy, I want it. I want it. Now." That kid was oozing Veruca Salt vibes. Woman: "I am serious. She wants it. You're an adult. She's a child. You can get another one. Go ahead and give it to her." Me, fed up: "Look, I've been nice, but I don't know you and your kid, and I'm not giving you my bracelet. Go bother someone else." Little girl starts a fit with crocodile tears, falls on the floor, and starts flailing around while screaming her head off with a combination of, "I want it, I want it, I want it, make her give it to me, you said I could have it." Entitled Mother: "Do you see what you did? My daughter is heartbroken. You should be ashamed of yourself. Give me that bracelet right now." Me: "What I did? Your daughter is a brat, and you are enabling her. Get away from me, or I'll have them call security." Cashier: "Ma'am, shall I make that call for you?" Cashier to Entitled Mother: "Ma'am, could you please take her outside if she's going to have a fit?" Entitled Mother pointing at me: "No, it's her fault." Turns to me: "My daughter wants that bracelet. I'll give you $5. Me: $5? Not that I would sell it, but it's a $70 bracelet. Entitled Mother: "Okay, $10. Me: "Lady, did you hear me? It's a $70 bracelet and I'm not interested in selling it. It was a birthday gift from my now deceased mother." Entitled Mother: "It's used. I'll give you no more than $15. You should be giving it to me for my daughter instead of trying to extort money from me. Be glad I'm willing to pay it all." Me: "You're crazy, lady. Clean out your ears. I am not giving or selling my bracelet. This is harassment. Take your screaming demon and get out of here before I tell this nice lady to call security." Woman: "What did you call my daughter? You're an awful person. My daughter deserves that bracelet. She's been an angel all day. You're making her cry. All she wants is that bracelet." Me to cashier: "Please call security. I'm not dealing with this anymore." She picks up a walkie and speaks into it. Woman: "No, we're going. I hope you can sleep tonight, making a little girl cry like this." Me: "Don't worry. I'll sleep like a baby. Bye now." Me to cashier: Go ahead and call security. I have a feeling she'll be waiting for me when I go outside, and I can smell the crazy on her. I'd like an escort to my car if it's not too much trouble. Cashier, already did. That lady is unhinged. I'm glad you were waiting. I was going to suggest it. I wound up waiting for a few more minutes for security, chatting to the cashier about how we were both shocked by the event and the absolute entitlement and nerve the woman had. I was relieved when security got there. The cashier and I filled the officer in on what happened. He said that he was happy to accompany me to my car. Sure enough, as I exited the store, the woman and her now silent kid were seated on the bench on the sidewalk outside the shop. They stood up and started toward me until she saw the security officer, and then they veered off towards another shop quickly. I was very glad to see them go. Has anyone else had someone just come up and try to guilt or bully you into giving them a personal item, or am I the only one? It was surreal. Now, the story itself is a very good story. Not going to discuss whether it's fake or not, but they had to put a sentence at the end that said, edited out company name and name of Bracelet since people have accused me of viral marketing. And I feel like this person is trying to market a bracelet. They did edit it out, but down in the comments they talked about it and told people what the name of it was and stuff. I do not remember what the name of it is, and I'm not going to go down and read it again because I don't want to know. I'm just here for the story. And I know you guys are too. As for things like that happening to people, there's been several stories where that sort of thing happened. I still remember somebody I like listening to myself that does Reddit stories is r/. And I remember a long time ago he did a story about this girl who was on I believe a bus. It's either a bus or a plane. And this boy wanted to use their gaming device that they had. She was sitting there playing her game, and he really wanted to use it and was screaming and causing a scene. This sort of thing does happen. People are nuts. They want their child to get something. They're so spoiled, they'll just give them anything they want, including something that belongs to somebody else. And there was a story I did a couple months ago where this person had a chocolate stick that they bought. They were holding it behind them while they were walking through the store, and the kid walks up and just grabs it and breaks off a piece and shoves it in their mouth. And then the mother stands up for the kid. So people like this really do exist, I think. Do let me know, though. If you guys have any similar stories to this, please do share. I promise I won't read it to everybody else, but I will read it myself. Our next story is by Pixels Kaya. Apologies in advance, writing on a cell phone, English is not my first language, etc. I was recently on a 3-hour flight, so it was a smallish plane. One of those in which business and economy have the same type of seats and are separated by a curtain. I was flying business. By sheer luck, definitely don't belong there, lol. And since the plane was half empty, there was only one woman sitting in the row in front of me with a baby in her arms who couldn't be older than 6 months. As soon as we take off, a man comes from economy through the closed curtain and starts talking with a woman and fussing over the baby. It becomes apparent that he's the dad. They both talked really loud. They definitely wanted our attention. The man returns to his seat and I see that it's directly behind the curtain, the first row in economy. And he has plenty of space around. WTF. Through the next hour, I kid you not, the man keeps coming to see the baby and talks with his wife every 10 minutes. He interrupts the meal service because he's right in the middle and the steward just can't get through. After too much of these shenanigans, the cabin manager has had enough and told the couple they simply couldn't do that anymore. And then the charade began. They had it so prepared it was comical. They had booked one seat in each class because they were sure they would let them be together in business class because they have a baby. After all, there are vacant seats left. The steward almost laughed in their faces and told them they could both go to economy and be together for the rest of the flight. The woman lost it. I have paid a lot of money for this ticket to fly business class. I'm not going to economy. Let my husband come be here with his baby. She sulked for a while, talking loudly about how evil the airline was to her and her baby, and how she was going to make a complaint. This was entertaining as heck. I wish I flew business more often. In the end, she made a huge fuss about it, but retreated to economy, and the last hour of the flight was uneventful. The best part? The baby was a saint through all of this. I could take a 12-hour flight with that little dude as long as his parents stayed home. It's unusual for a baby to be that quiet. Most of the stories that I've read, they have a crying child, a crying, screaming, spoiled child, or an infant that just will not stop. You are so lucky that this one was a little saint. Our last story is by Arisa Lee. Entitled Friend F's Around and Find Out. I have known Colette for over a decade. She has kids from a previous relationship and is one of those obnoxious parents. The kind who honestly believes that her toddlers are perfectly behaved angels who can be taken anywhere and never cause any upset. She's completely delusional and thinks her kids never cry or have emotions other than sunshine and maturity beyond their years. Correct me if I'm wrong, but kids who are like this tend to be that way due to fear of consequences. Painful consequences. Colette isn't the greatest human, but she also doesn't abuse her kids. She is actually on the other end of the spectrum and spoils them rotten. Earlier this year, she married a single dad. This put a strain on our relationship because I wouldn't listen to her badmouth her stepson, who I'll call Caleb, age 7 years old. Caleb is on the spectrum and has some issues with impulse control and emotional regulation. He's in therapy for that, but Colette hates him regardless. I could endure listening to her delusions about how perfect she thinks her kids are, but shut her down for the nasty things she tries to say about Caleb. What remained of our friendship broke entirely a few months ago. This was when Caleb's mom said she needed a break and his dad needed to step up. Colette lost her mind. I'll let your imaginations fill in the blank about the ableist and hateful trash she vomited. I told her she should have known this was a possibility. Isn't it obvious that if you date someone with minor children, you have to be prepared that they could be a full-time responsibility? Colette screamed, and of course she knew, but that only applied if Caleb's mother died. It wasn't fair that she ruined Colette's fairy tale romance, where her new husband had stepped in as dad for her kids, and Caleb was someone else's problem. I heard through the grapevine that Colette is getting divorced. Apparently, she told her husband that her kids are perfect, his isn't, and he has to choose. The better family they created, her 2 kids, and him, or the out-of-control brat even his ex doesn't want anymore. He chose Caleb. Knowing Colette, she's probably angry at everyone, but the person who actually causes the mess, herself. That's an epic dad right there. What kind of crazy, insane person says, you choose me or your child? She came with 2 kids of her own. I can promise you that the guy that she was dating did not believe that they were perfect little angels at all times. I can guarantee it. Caleb has special needs. He's on the spectrum. He has some issues. He still needs love, care, and respect. And epic dad choosing Caleb over Colette. She sounds pretty awful. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, have a special day.